Ayub Khan's industrial policy. Guys, today we will try to understand Ayub Khan's industrial policy. We know that Ayub Khan ruled over Pakistan from 1958 to 1969, and generally this decade is known for the decade of development. No doubt this was a decade of development when our industries boomed and our exports were tremendously increased, but it has certain negative impacts as well. It means it has both positive and negative impacts. Today we will try to evaluate the policies, the major policies of Ayub Khan, and the impacts of those policies on our economy. Let's first see the major policies. Ayub Khan's policies were mostly centralized over industrial development, and we know that Pakistan it is a third world country, and we are having deficiency of funds for industrial development. So Ayub Khan decided to take loans from industrialized Western economies, especially from USA, UK, and Germany. So he took tremendous loans, and he invested all those loans on industrial development of the country. In 1962, he established an oil refinery at Karachi, and the purpose of establishing this oil refinery was to refine oil inside Pakistan. And he also established Mineral Development Corporation, and the purpose of this Mineral Development Corporation was to extract minerals in the country and to develop our mineral sector, which was a vital sector for industrial development of any country. And in 1964, Ayub Khan decided to make an economic union with two of our neighbor and brethren countries, that's Iran and Turkey. He signed a pact with those two countries. That pact is called Regional Cooperation for Development. That's in short form, it's called RCD. And the second last step perhaps was the export bonus scheme. Actually, this was a scheme introduced in Ayub's period, and through this scheme, grants and tax rebates were given to such industries which were producing export items, and the purpose of this scheme was to enhance our exports. And through this scheme, our exports were enhanced to a tremendous level, at peak. Now let's see the impacts of those policies. First is our economic growth. That was really encouraging. That was 7%. The economic growth, this was the highest in this period, was 7%, which was almost 3 times of India, which is our neighbor, a huge economy. And our economic growth was 7%, which was 3% of the India. And the negative impact, that's economic disparity. In this period, we found that 22 families control over 68% of Pakistan's industrial assets. That's a huge trusting, a bad news, a bad information, that 22 families, only 22 families in the entire country were controlling on 68% of Pakistan's industrial assets. And same families, these 22 families were having control on 80% of our banking and insurance companies. And another negative impact was that all these 22 families were from West Pakistan, and none of them was from East Pakistan. This created an imbalance between both wings of Pakistan, that's East and West Pakistan. There was a huge difference in economic development in both wings. West Pakistan was a developed region, while East Pakistan was not developed. This created the downfall of Dhaka. This created downfall of Dhaka in 1971, which is the darkest history of Pakistan, or the darkest event in the history of Pakistan. And guys, you see that, as we already told you, that Pakistan was not having enough funds for industrial development, so they had depended on foreign loans, especially from UK, Germany, and such countries. And those loans were invested in industrial development, and the benefit was sucked by just 22 families, while the burden was on entire country. Hence, we were increasingly dependent on foreign aid, and still now we are facing the same issue. Pakistan is facing the same issue, that's to dependence on foreign aids that was started from this period.